The Israelis will determine how much water you are able to have in your home.
Yeah.
They can shut the water off anytime they want to. You might get 2 or 3 hours a day where you have running water. You might have 2 or 3 hours a day when the Israelis decide you can have electricity. You cannot go anywhere without their consent. You're under constant surveillance. You have no liberty beyond what they give you, and the torturous circumstances that they live under on a daily basis are worse than what most animals in a zoo would be given. Animals in a zoo would be given as much or more consideration than the Palestinians in Gaza.
Yes.
And so this is a daily occurrence, and that's what people don't understand, that the circumstances that preceded this action by Hamas is just absolutely. Israel became a state. In fact, Israel becoming a state happened off of the ethnic cleansing of the Palestinian people, and I very much recommend that people get a book that we carry in our store, written by an Israeli historian by the name of Ilan Pappé,
Right.
who's one of the finest Israeli historians alive today. And he wrote the book, The Ethnic Cleansing of Palestine, in which he was brutally honest about how Israel became a state off of the ethnic cleansing, the apartheid, the murder, the rape, the pillage, the plunder of the Palestinian people. In fact, the people that are living in Gaza today, or Gaza, however you want to say it, are pretty much the ones who were forced off of their land back in the 1940s and early 50s, and even going into the 1967 Six-Day War, and forced like cattle into that little strip of land that we call Gaza.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where they came from. We're talking about 2.5 million people crammed in this little bitty open-air prison, which is really what it is. And I have people that follow my program. We broadcast every Sunday live at Liberty Fellowship, and we have people that watch all over the world, including Palestine and Israel. We have seen Israelis come to know Christ as Savior through watching Liberty Fellowship's live stream program, as well as Palestinians. And so I get emails quite regularly from that part of the world, from both sides, from the Israeli side and the Palestinian side. And they both are in agreement as to the utter brutality of the Zionist government against the Palestinian people. But people don't realize that, and I've been there and I've seen this, and anybody that's traveled to Palestine, the Middle East, Israel, has seen some of this. They won't let you see all of it, of course, but people don't realize that the Palestinian people are living in the most torturous circumstances that anyone could possibly live in on the Jewish Noahide laws. Let me just make one comment about that to help the listeners understand what you're saying and the danger of it. The Jewish Noahide law calls for the death of anyone practicing idolatry,
Right.
or blasphemy.
Yes.
This was the charge the Sanhedrin used against Jesus Christ, you recall.
Exactly.
They accused him of blaspheming and of idolatry. Now, anything that contradicts the Noahide law and Jewish law is considered blasphemy and idolatry. So in other words, any person who worships Jesus or Muhammad or any other faith system, according to the Noahide doctrine, is guilty of idolatry and blasphemy and is worthy of death. It also obligates non-Jews, the Goyim, the Gentiles, to set up courts
Yes.
to carry out these Talmudic executions. So they operate through the courts.
Yes.
They don't even acknowledge a legislature per se. The power of the Noahide system resides with the courts. They are the all-powerful law of that system. So if the court deems that you have committed blasphemy, as they said Jesus did, well, the sentence is death, and that's why they wanted him crucified, and that's why they want anyone today who doesn't worship according to the Noahide laws to be executed. That's their goal. And so they work through the legal system. They work through the courts. And that's why we have seen so many of these unbelievable anti-freedom, anti-God rulings that are coming out of some of these federal and state courts in our country, is because they're dominated by men who believe in the Noahide system of law.
Right.